सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतः चार्तेष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोजितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम्। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तक्षणात्। Shri Parikshit Ji Maharaj very aptly asks, what is the dharana that I should do of? What kind of mindset should I possess to understand Bhagavatam, to understand the whole sublime thought, not as an intellectual understanding, but what would it take to translate the intellectual gathering of the knowledge of Bhagavatam into a personal direct experience as I am listening to Bhagavatam. This is, Shukadev Ji says, that which you are asking for is called dharana. Dharana, that because of which you can hold on to. There are many processes by which we can hold on to. Remember when people go out before the times of the PDAs and other things that are available, on the sari or somewhere on the handkerchief, knots. Your mind may not hold on to stuff that you have to remember, but looking at that which you regularly use in a very peculiar pattern should recollect, should remind you of something to hold on. So that is used to hold on to. Then there are people who have to repeat themselves. Like, when you send a small child, go get this from the shop. There are so many things that can distract the child. So many times the child goes there and said, comes back. If you don't get angry, I have to ask something. Then what? You forgot again? The mother says, keep repeating that to yourself and go. So he'll remember that biscuit. And he goes there, he said, biscuit. Mom did not say, which biscuit? I think many of the mothers sitting here have the same problem when you send your other half grocery shopping. After 15 minutes, they call, honey, you said something here, there are 7-8 varieties, which one do you want? Narayana, then muttering under the breath, instead it would be better if I would go. In fact, a tip, because you had been going all along, they did not train themselves to learn that. But anyway, there is some kind of method to remember, to hold on to that. Then there is the intellectual process of knowledge being contemplated upon again and again. But here he is asking of a process wherein even that intellectual knowledge turns into an experience immediately upon Shravana. That is the beautiful part. That Shakti is called Dharana. And how does Shukdev ji start? He says, Jitasano jitashvasaha jitasango jitendriyaha sthule bhagavato rupe manasandharaye dhiya. The whole process is given. Jitasanaha, have a firm seating so that you don't get disturbed by your own physical body by its constant movements. Jitashvasaha, have a balanced, awareful breathing. Jitasangaha, win over all attachments whatsoever. Withdraw all the sensory perceptions, organs of perception and action to a complete stop. Not a pause, but a stop. That is called Jitasangaha, Jitendriyaha. Sthule bhagavato rupe manaha sandharayet. The intellect, dhiya, watching over the mind, not straying here and there, focusing completely on the Lord. That is called dharana. Then immediately probably Parikshit wanted to ask, which form of God? Oh Shukdev ji. So Shukdev said, wait, let me continue. I am not yet done with the thought. Because those who are eager to know something, they have that zeal, that enthusiasm can be seen. So probably Shukdev ji Maharaj looked at Parikshit ji's interest and said, Visheshatasya dehoyam. Now for those people who have a deep, deep-rooted sense of belonging or being this body, this sthula sharira, should consider the sthula form of the Lord as this whole universe. And then he goes into a detailed explanation of the Supreme as this universe, the Virat form of the Supreme. Whenever we talk of the Dhyana Shloka, even in Vishnu Sahasranama, the Dhyana Shloka, the way it starts, Kshiro dhanvat pradeshe shuchimani vilasat saikate mautika nam Mala klupta sanasthas phatika mani nibhair motikair manditangaha Shubhrair abhraidar abhraid upari virachitair muktapiyusha varshaihi Anandina puniyad arinalina gada shankha panir mukundaha bhuv padau. What is the pada? Pada means the feet. The physical form of the Lord is nothing but the whole universe. Presently we are seeing the universe at a microscopic level. And how beautiful is this Ramji's picture up there? One of the most, the moment you see it, your mind just stops there. The most beautiful photograph of Ramji ever I have seen. The photograph is beautiful, but if your eye is just half an inch away from that photograph, what will you see? Few grainy colors on that paper or whatever medium that is on. And then from that standpoint you say, such a smita mandahasa, such a beautiful delicate smile that he has. Kahan dikhta nahi hai? Where are you? I am with the photograph. One has to withdraw to see that complete grandeur, splendor of that Lord. So this whole universe is nothing but the expression and expansion of that Supreme alone. That is why even the Vishnu Sahasranama, the first name starts with Vishwam. Everything that is nothing but that Supreme alone. Nothing can be other than that Supreme. Why even Guru Nanak Ji, in his very first statement that he makes in Japji Sahib, Aaj sach, Jugad sach, hai bhi sach, Nanak hosi bhi sach. He starts with that word saying that everything that is nothing but that Supreme Sat Swarupa. Masters have revealed it in their own experience. So that is what is a beautiful description given. Sthule Bhagavato Rupe. The physical form of that Lord has to be invoked in your heart and meditated upon. Andakoshe sharirasmin saptavarna samyute Vairajah purusho yosau bhagavan dharanashrayah. Andakoshe. What does Andakoshe mean? In this Brahmanda, this whole Brahmanda, this whole universe has to be seen as the dharana of that Supreme in whom all this universe is. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what was shown to Arjuna? It was this Virata Rupa. The probably listening to that 11th chapter, painters come up with expressions wherein he has plenty of heads, Sahasra Shirsha. So how can they show Sahasra Shirsha? Sahasra again, they go very technical there. 1,000-headed. 1,000-headed, then they start with Krishna's main beautiful face and then different forms. And to the end, if you observe, there is just one line and saying that there is some form. And then in infinity they show. There are plenty more, but with our wide angle shot, this is what we can get. Sahasra Sirshaha, Sahasra Padaha, Sahasra Uru. When they say Sahasra Pada, why don't we see Sahasra Pada there? We see that, he has been painted as having thousands of arms with different kinds of arms and ammunition in his hand. When they say Sahasra Pada, why don't there are only 2 legs? Now that is like a twist for the painter cannot imagine the Sahasrapad. In fact, once I was explaining this concept and the kid asked me very innocently, is your Vishwarupa something like a centipede or a millipede? Sahasrapada, right? So here there is a description of that, invoking that supreme form in such a way that this whole Brahmanda universe is explained in that supreme form. In fact, when we sit for puja, we do the dharana. It is called the nyasa. We invoke different forms of God into this limited body to sanctify this body so that we are qualified enough to worship the divine. Now the same kind of nyasa, same kind of dharana is done on the universe, seeing the universe in that supreme. So here the description starts. Patalametasya hi padamulam. Now he starts with the patal. Chaturdasha bhuvana, 14 worlds. In the 14 worlds he starts saying that the patala is the feet of the Lord of the Virata Rupa. Then the little above, on the feet itself, is called the Rasatala. Then the Mahatala is the calf muscles. Then the top of the feet, the upper portion of the feet and the fingers or the toes, they are called the Talatala. So one after the other it is being explained. Dve januni sutalam vishwamurtehe urudvayam vitalam chatalam cha mahitalam taccha jaghanam mahipate nabhastalam nabhisaro grananti. Dve januni, two knees. Now what are the two knees? I said, of this Virata, the two knees is called the Sutala. Then the thighs are called the Vitala. Atala is the little above portion. Atala and Vitala are around the thighs and the mid section. Mahitalam, Mahipatehe, Nabhastalam, Nabhihi Asau. The Nabhi area is called the Mahitala. Urusthalam, Jyotihi Anikamasya, Griva Mahaha, Vadanam Vai Janosya. Urusthala. Urusthala is the Lord's chest. Chest is the Uru, wherein the Jyotirloka, then the Maharloka is his Kantha. This, the front portion is the Kantha, is his Maharloka. Tapoloka, and there is Vadanam, the face is the Janaloka. Tapoloka, where all these great people live, in this Tapoloka is his Taporaratim viduradi pumsaha satyam tu shirshna sahasra shirshnaha. Now here Shukdev ji says, all great people, all great Mahatmas live in this Tapobhumi, Tapoloka, which is on his forehead, Bhalam. Indradayo Bahavaha, all these great gods whose lifespan is as the lifespan of Brahmaji, they stay in this Satyaloka, which is at the head, top of the head. And that is where is the Sahasra Sirsha, which takes into modification of various forms of heads. And then there are further details given. Karnau disha shrotram amushya shabdaha. His ears are the space. Then Ghranoho asya gandham, his nose is the very smell, the nascent form of smell. So continuously there is a beautiful description of this Virata given, wherein every single particle, every single creature, whether it is a stone, whether it is a tree, whether it is a mountain, whether it is a river, whether it is an ant, whether it is a dog, whether it is any flying creature or anything, is there in that Virata Swarupa. Whether we understood this whole concept of 14 worlds in the Lord or not, at least my heart feels such a joy thinking, in that Virata, I am there somewhere. Isn't it? I met somebody the other day. That gentleman is 90 plus. Very elderly person. And still does his Sandhya Vandana and regular Japatapa of his is done. So I had this great opportunity to meet him. And I said, you're having a good innings. This is how I met him. I said, but I am having the greatest time. And then over the talk, he said, I met Ramana Maharshi. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, I am blessed. I met him. I sat with him for a couple of hours. The moment you hear that there is this gentleman who has had the opportunity to meet Ramana Maharshi, the immediate reaction or response here, how lucky, isn't it? How blessed you are to meet such a great Mahatma. You met really Ramana Maharshi? And then we also say, I met a person who met Ramana Maharshi. And not an ounce of change here, but then the credit. I met a person who met Ramana Maharshi. When you meet somebody who has met a Mahatma or a great personality, you feel such blessed to even get an introduction to such people. Now imagine, you are in the very form of Virata. One of these worlds is the Bhuloka. The Bhuloka is also his very form in the Virata. In that Bhuloka somewhere, Bhuloka is this planet Earth, North American continent. And then Texas. In Texas, Dallas. In Dallas, there is this place called Northern Dallas. In Northern Dallas, there is this Davenport. On Davenport, there is this 12,000 square foot building. In that 12,000 square foot building, where is this? In that Virata. How blessed that whole feeling should be inside. When this dharana is done constantly, wherein the mind loses its identification with its own body, which is so strong that nothing but the body-oriented life alone takes priority. Unless that dehatma buddhi, satyatva buddhi of the deha alone to be the truth is broken, not for another few lectures, not for another few lives of lectures. You may have heard the whole Bhagavat, the whole Ramayana, whole Mahabharata. If need be, the complete Vedic literature is downloaded into you. Still, where am I? Yatha sthanam pratisthapayami kshemaya punaragamanaya cha. That is called the last step in puja vidhi. Yeah, that is what is said. Visarjan. When we do Ganeshji's Visarjana, what do we say? In Bombay they say, Ganapati Bappa Moria, Agle baras tu jaldi aa. We are sending you home, but then come back next year with nice laddus, modak. So that is what we do with ourselves. Where are we? After hearing, since this Dehatma Buddhi is not yet broken, where are we? We are still there. Don't we feel that the moment we are out of this door, all this knowledge translates into mere data available in the upper chamber called intellect? Yes, I have heard all of this, but what dent has it made into your inner personality? Cannot make any inner dent because we are not losing the body identification. Probably we do lose body identification once in 24 hours, but that is done unconsciously. If that done consciously, then we are there. And how much ever puja, how much ever upasana that you do, or japa you do, if it does not yield into getting rid of this satyatva buddhi, the wrong erroneous concept which is firm inside, that I am this body and this alone is the truth. How can that be broken? So it is again a habit that has been formed through lives. They say Maharashtrian culture, once the lady gets married into the family, there is an option to change their name, not just the first name, the last name also is changed, or whatever, first and last doesn't matter. Last name it doesn't change, the first name is also changed. The main name, whatever you take. And to get used to that name is a pretty difficult task. How do I know? I know. I have gone through it. No, शादी की बात नहीं कर रहा हूं मैं. Though our ashram, main ashram is in Bombay, Maharashtra. See, when this Diksha is given, the old name changes to become this present name. It is very difficult to get used to this name. 20-21 years, solid abhyasa of that name. The new name, when even uttered, like going into the railway station, you have to check your name right on the list. Arey, mera naam nahi hai. It is right there, Brahmachari Uddhav Chaitanya. But then the mind doesn't register it. It is still searching for the old name. And sometimes when our names are butchered, it's so difficult in those early stages to even recognize that name. There was this Swamiji, he's in Orissa. When he got his sannyas diksha, he was renamed as Swami Sadananda. In the printout, which is stuck on the railway chart, not all characters are put. So his name is Swami Sad. Where did the new name come from me? It's very difficult to get used to a new name. it takes very strong practice of abhyasa with that new name again. If a simple name change has this kind of a problem, the adhyasa of this body, the identification of this body as me is so strong, it takes a lot of effort to break it. This dharana, when done, what does it dilute? It dilutes away the concept of the mind dwelling on the body to be the reality, the body to be me. We are overwriting that concept inside with the concept of that Virata, Deha of a Virata, as an expansion of this universe. This is one form of adhyasa or one form of dharana. Then Sri Shukadev ji goes into the explanation of the subtler way of doing the dharana of the Lord. This is one sure method of doing dharana. What is the second method of doing dharana? He starts in the second chapter. He says, there are two kinds of forms. One is an abstract form, as this explained earlier, of the Virata. Then there is the form of the subtler form, wherein you worship the Lord with a form. What kind of form are we talking about? In the form of Lord Krishna, in the form of Lord Rama, in the form of Lord Shiva, in the form of goddesses, in the form of any one of these divinities is invoked as a dhyana. Shantakaram bhujagashayanam padmanabham suresham Vishwadharam gagana sadrisham Meghavarnam. I read a very beautiful explanation of why. Have you ever come across somebody who is blue in color? Light sky blue color. In fact, if you are in the hospital, it is considered as almost done case. When does your hand or something turn into blue? When there is no circulation, when the whole system is like frozen, stopped, then it gets into that state. You don't come across anybody with that kind of a blue. The blue baby from Vrindavan. Very hard to imagine. But this good, very beautiful concept given by this great Mahatma, Odiya Babaji, who was Guru of Akhandanandji. He says, when you look up in the sky, how is the sky? Blue in color. But in reality, is there a color for that? We see, but is there a color for it? When we are staring into that infinite space, that infinity has that color of blue, bluish hue. Similarly, this infinite, the Supreme, who takes the form of finitude, has that bluish, darker bluish shade. Meghavarnam, Shubhangam. Every anga, every part of that Lord is so beautiful. Every part of that Lord is so enchanting that the mind just stops there. Meghavarnam Shubhangam Lakshmikantam. Now when we go around introducing ourselves in this society, so-called equal status society, how do we introduce ourselves? Mr. and Mrs. Pyarelal. I thought it was only in India. Even here, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Isn't it? But look at this. How is he called? Sometimes when I introduce people, saying, he is Mr. So-and-so of that lady, and this person like, kya bola? The kind of crossed look that they give. And our Narayana is so great. How does he love to be called? He calls himself as Mr. Lakshmi. Lakshmi Kanta. Kamala Nayanam. Such compassionate eyes. Such love and compassion just flowing out of that eyes. Now flowing out of the eyes is like one has to feel it, Baba. You can convey so much in looks. Yeah, there are many people who dress to kill, looks to kill, but this person said, my wife only cooks. Time laga to understand. So the looks also, like look at somebody, there's a different bhava coming out. It's a total different bhava. All the navarasas, 9 bhavas can be shown just with the eyes. And in the Lord's eyes, Kamala Nayanam is as big as when the lotus flower, before it blossoms, before it unfolds, the shape is such beautiful shape. In fact, when we were learning Tanjore painting, the way we were taught that every anga that is painted of the Lord, you start out with the form of the lotus. The face starts with a lotus. Bigger, smaller, shorter versions of lotuses. The hands, the fingers. And then you draw the lines there. The eyes. Every part is so komala, like the lotus. Full of compassion. Kamala Nayanam. Yogi Vihi Dhyana Gamyam. This is the form that even the realized masters dwell upon. Yogi Bihi. Such beautiful form. And then there are those of us who say, I don't know, I cannot relate to any God. I was with Swami Yoganandji Maharaj, who is a Guru Bhai of Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandji. And he must be almost like 85 plus. It's a rare opportunity to be with such people. So there was this young couple who had come to meet while we were there, and Swamiji was talking about this upasana. And then he said, to have that, our mind have to tune to some God form. And I can't tune to any form. Which was like a speed breaker in his flow of thought. So he looked at them. Keep a mirror. You're so intoxicated with your own form that no other form can enchant you. Keep a mirror. It doesn't matter which form of Lord that you have that Lord's form and meditate on that form. Here, this being predominantly of Lord Narayana, predominantly of Lord Sri Krishna, here in this particular adhyaya, the second chapter of the second canto, Sri Shukadev ji starts with explaining the form of the Lord with these subtle beauties of Lord Krishna. Herein he says, before he gets into that particular topic of describing the Lord, said, who will be interested in Lord is the topic that he has taken. Why is it that we are not interested in Lord, or doing the meditation of the form of Lord is taken for discussion? He puts it so simple. He says, Satyam kshitau kim kashipaha kashipoho. To sleep, do you need to put effort? If you come across anybody who says so, give them a free invitation to my class. They say, सत्संग का फल मीठा होता है. When you can sleep on the floor when you are so tired, just sitting there, that you just get to sleep. Do you need a cushiony mattresses? Nothing is required. Do you need a pillow? The Lord has given a man-made pillow. Just अपने हाथ अंदर लगा लो. Put your hand underneath. God made pillow for us. Then he says, Satyanjalau. You have your own Anjali to drink or to feed yourself. Why do you need utensils? Then he goes on to explain. If you can live with tying around the bark of the tree when necessary, that is what he said. If not necessary, even that is not required. Again, loka lajja. Where does that concept come from? When you know that you are the body, and that body has to be covered in such a manner, let me not go there. When our focus is not in being simple, but in being so complicated, wherein simple things are bargained for complicated, complex living, where can such a mind focus on God? Because what is important in here? And don't you come across people who say that, even if there is a little extra time, I need my 8 hours sleep. I can't do without it. What happened on that day when your old friend had come, whom you had met, whom you were meeting after like 15 years? It happened to be that after you had your supper, you were just sitting there on the dining table after you had cleaned up everything, and then you realized that it was already 2:30 in the middle of the night. Normally by 9:30 you hit the sack. for whatever mistake that the sack has done, you hit the sack. Not even at 2:30 you feel so fresh. No, you are not high on caffeine, you are not high on sugar, but still the mind is fresh. And those who cannot give up sleep, those who cannot give up simple comforts. In fact, they say, once I have all these comforts, then I'll think about the Lord. BLNL. Better luck, next life. In fact, there is a Subhashita. I'm not talking of the Vedic literature, I'm not talking of the Puranas or the Itihasa. A simple Subhashita written by some Kavi. He says, Sukharthinaha vidyam tyajet, vidyarthinaha sukham tyajet. A simple equation. Vidyarthinaha, if you are a Vidyarthi. For saying we give beautiful dialogues. Oh, I am a student for a lifetime. One has to be a student for a lifetime. But then how is a student? Sukham tyajet. They are not for these paltry pleasures. Have your priority clear. If you want sukha, vidyam tyajet. If you want these pleasures, paltry pleasures, give up this pursuit of spirituality. Added with the other layers of worldliness, there is another layer of discrepancy, rupture. What? I want to be spiritual and yet have my comforts. How can that be merged? On one platform they said, East meeting the West. The best of the East and the best of the West. Spirituality is irrespective of the comfort zone. In fact, it has got nothing to do with the things around. The same logic is twisted and used by these materialists. If it is independent of the material, then what is wrong in having the comforts? So beautifully, intelligently twisted the whole logic. Use this logic. The point is, as long as the mind has that cushion around, comfort zone around, it is like your children. As long as you, the parents, are there around, however long you keep screaming at them, however long you keep correcting them, do you see any ounce of responsibility in them? In fact, when you go to their college or when you go to their dorms or when you go to their schools, people say that they are very brilliant, very intelligent, very responsible. The mother is inside thinking, are they talking about my kid? Because they know they are in that comfort zone and that they refuse to take any further higher step. Similarly is our mind. As long as these comforts are provided, mind cannot, will not, shall not dwell on that Supreme. Sit for meditation. I need my asana. That cushiony asana. If that is not there, I cannot meditate. You see to what levels of comfort zone that the mind and the body has gotten used to, without which no spirituality can happen. I'll take you to the next level of example. Tirtha Yatra means lot of discomfort. Tirtha Yatra The English translation is uncomfortable journey. That is what is Tirtha Yatra. You know, a year and a half, 2 years ago, when going to Char Dham Yatra, I said, I am going, if anybody wants to tag along, come. You know, first question what they ask, how is the Lord? How beautiful will be Badrinath? How beautiful will be Kedarnath? What are the different Tirtha Kshetras around, along with Gangaji, that Mother Ganga that we can see? None of these questions. The first question that they ask, specific, how are the toilets? I had only one thing in my head. At least for that thing, I had to take them to Mansarovar Yatra. You know why? At least in the Char Dham Yatra, you have some form of toilet. In Mansarovar Yatra, there is nothing called toilet. Abundant barren land available. Go. Now, how will be the bed? Will they give us bed tea? लात पड़ेंगे, डंडे पड़ेंगे. Have you come to see Lord or some honeymoon? And for that Lord, they are not ready to give up these kinds of comforts. Where will they find God? I am very spiritual. ठीक है. At your spirituality, you are there. Narayano Rakshatu. May that Lord protect you more than ever. So when we are focused in these kinds of details, wherein a thing can be smartly dealt with the bare minimum necessities. And one good thing that he has done, he has not given a list of bare minimum necessities. It is for each one of us to decide what is our bare minimum necessity. And what is the sense of attachment? When you feel that I cannot live without this vastu, without this person, without this comfort, without this. Whenever that thought comes in, you are attached. And when the mind is in that kind of attachments, where has it the time to think about the Lord? I shamelessly accept, when we had gone to Padayatra, the first 10-12 days, the only focus on my mind was, because I had no problem getting sleep. I could sleep under a tree, in a bus stop, in the veranda of an old school. That sleeping was not the problem. Udaram bharinaha. Where will I get my next meal? Because one of the vows that we had taken was, do not carry money, do not carry forward the food even if it is left. You know, 2 idli pack करके सामने के लिए लगा लो. No carry forward. Not staying in the same place. You know, supposing you get good food, nice people, stay there for a couple of more days. So we went through a lot of processing. So we said no staying in the same place for more than a night. And one side I had to be righteous with the vows that we had ourselves put on ourselves. On the other hand, Bhagavan, Lord, who is he? Because the only focus was on, okay, I got my morning, What about my lunch? I tell you, staying in the mission centers, we get so corrupted. The heights of corruption that a brahmachari can get to, I understood it. Staying in Vijayawada, I had gotten used to this pickles, chutney. So when people used to give food, it was not something fresh food or something which is already there. Sometimes it was just rice. They didn't have a label of date on it. It was just rice. So the mind was, I wish I had achar. Wish I had some hot sabji. Then, with the blessings of the Lord, He gave us a jerk. And there are some words that we use. It is supposed to be a cuss word in this country. When you call somebody a jerk, you know who gets a jerk? The one who has been living like a jerk. The Lord provides a shock treatment. I tell you, after that shock treatment, the complete internal realigned itself. Until that kick comes in, like what Parikshit had. The mind is so stubborn with its patterns, cannot think beyond the comfort zone. The capacity of an individual should be such firm that there is nothing wrong if these comforts come. But when they leave, when you have to abandon them, when you have to throw them away, in the flu season you use this Kleenex. What do you do after using it? Do you make sure that it is thrown in such a place wherein any trash can, first thing that you do is get rid of it. That thing in this country. In India, wherever. With that kind of a spirit, as you throw away your used tissue paper, if you can throw away, abandon, with that kind of independence from the things, beings and the places around, that you are not clinging on internally to those things, that is qualified to think about the Lord. Not otherwise. And I have this also, and sometimes I'll think that also. You will not be here also, and you will not be there also. So Parikshit ji is given a frank statement by Shukadev ji. He says, since you have got that kind of vairagya in you, I am explaining to you about that beautiful form of the Lord that can be meditated upon. So in the 9th, he says, actually it starts from the 8th one. Prasanna Vaktram Nalinayate Kshanam. Prasanna Vaktram. How is the Lord? See, sometimes you may be happy from within. But in your presence, nobody is happy. Who is Prasanna Vaktram? The one who is internally happy and in whose presence the rest of them are also happy. That is called Prasanna Vaktram. Nalinayate Kshanam. beautiful glowing eyes, showering love and compassion. Nalina yate kshanam. And he says, Kadamba Kinjalka. There is a beautiful mala made of the Kadamba Pushpa. Yeah, they are small little round, greenish in color, along with the lotus. You know, when you go to Vrindavan, you visit Banke Bihari temple. I tell you, everything there is so madhura. After giving my chappal, you have to secure them. Because before you come out, they've already gone out. So after you take the token there, exactly opposite to that is the vendors for the Pushpa Mala. I just stand there watching the Pushpa Malas. So fragrant, so beautiful. Imagine such Pushpa Mala which the Lord himself was wearing. The Vastu in itself has a beauty. It is something like there are some people, especially when I see in Texas, they wear that cowboy hat. It looks so elegant on them. So in one shop I tried it on myself. So as I was looking into the mirror, I saw the reflection of a lady passing by who looked at it. I gave that kind of a look. The Vastu in itself has a beauty. That beauty gets enhanced by the person who is wearing it. The Lord, the Pushpa Mala, Kadamba Mala is itself beautiful, itself so fragrant, looks divine. The flower Mala without the Lord in itself looks divine. Add this to that divinity himself, how much more elegant it would look. And then his Angavasasam, Pita Angavasasam. How is his clothes? Clothes are that yellow silk cloth, soft, just as though it just drops on the form of the Lord, clinging onto the form of the Lord. So soft, delicate it looks. Lasan Maharatna Hiranmayangadam. There are many beautiful abhushana, like there are kundala, there is nupura, then there are the bracelets, then there are some which are worn on the shoulders, then there are the necklaces that are adorning his chest. There's a beautiful mukuta, kirita, studded with precious jewels, and there is a center mani which is glowing. Why? Because it is reflecting the ever glowing Lord's radiance. It is reflecting. So it is even much more bright. Such is the kirita. Unnidrahrit pankaja karnikalaye Yogeshwarastha patipada pallavam. All great Mahatmas, they have this beautiful Smita Vaktra. Smita Vaktra, the most enchanting. Smita means smiling. Smita also means enchanting. The most enchanting form of the Lord in their heart. And his feet that they contemplate upon is like the blossoming lotus blossoming the devotion in their heart. And then he has the Vanamala. See, one was the Kadamba Mala. The second one, it is Vanamala. What is Vanamala? I had to break my head to think about it. Very difficult to describe what is Vanamala. That kind of Vanamala, that which does not wither away. All mixed flower garland. That is Vanamala. You know, you have fruit jam, all fruit mix, fruit punch, all fruits are mixed. The best of the forest, the best flowers of the forest are chosen to make a garland. That Vanamala which adorns his shoulders, hanging from his shoulders. Vibhushitam mekhalayanguliyakaihi. On his anguli, there are mekhala, there are the rings. It is made out of gold, and then in that there is the different kinds of jewels. And then on his hand, there are different kinds of bracelets. There is one which is loosely hanging. There is one which is firmly holding on to his wrist. And then from that, bright, illuminating face of his, there is a kirita. On that is falling the various straights of hair. And how was Lord's hair? Especially Lord Krishna's hair, it was curly hair, dark curly hair falling on his face. So he has the mukuta, but a little bit of it is falling on his face. There is this Rasakhan. Basically he was of the Islam religion, but he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. He explains this particular shloka of Bhagavat in his poetry. How is that chavi of the Lord, that form of the Lord? As if the face be taken as blossoming lotus. The hair, curly hair, which was hanging on his face, is looking like the bumblebee, trying to hover around the lotus to find the nectar. O Lord, let my mind of the bee be dwelling on you, like that bumblebee which goes around the lotus. Such beautiful, explained by Raskhanji. Then, as you are focusing on to the face of the Lord, as though He's looking at you. Even here when you look at strangers, and you glance, and when your eyes meet, you don't know who that person is. That person doesn't know who you are. Sometimes when I'm out there, people are confused. Probably they're taken by surprise with this kind of a costume. As long as I'm in Dallas, I go with the same makeup. Bhasma on my forehead. And they're a little confused. Should we smile back or not? But if you are at their own normal level, the moment your eyes meet, there is a little smile that is conveyed. You convey it and the other person conveys it. Now here the Lord, the moment you are seeing this beautiful form of Lord. So far you are looking at the mukuta, you are looking at the abhushana, you are looking at the mala, you are looking at the hair that was falling on his face. As you are looking at all these things, your eyes met the Lord's eyes. And then in cognition, his lips parted with a beautiful smile. Amazing smile, attractive smile. So he had that beautiful smile. And here our Shukdev ji says in the 14th shloka, Yavanna jayeta paravaresmin Vishveshware drashtari bhakti yogaha tavat sthaviyah purushasya rupam kriyavasane prayatasmareta. As long as that form of the Lord, that part of this beautiful form of the Lord does not make a firm impression in your heart, keep contemplating, keep imagining that part of that form of Lord again and again and again. That the moment you think of the Lord and say you think of His hands, it immediately comes. If you have that bhakti yoga, this happens. Like when you think of your husband, wife or children, does your mind search for a face? Don't give me an answer. You will land in trouble. The moment you think of your loved ones, immediately the form takes shape. Your mind takes that form. Do the abhyasa based on this of the form of the Lord in your heart, that the moment you think of Krishna, this form reflects in your heart. That, he says, is the dharana of the form of the Lord. When you have this dharana of the Lord, that you have, the moment you close your eyes and think about the Lord, you have this form of the Lord right in front of you. Till then, a physical ritualistic worship of puja is required so that that form takes it is engraved inside. So by the moment you close your eyes, that is the form that takes in front of you. In fact, that is called bhakti yoga, wherein you don't need to put an effort to see the form of the Lord. See, when you are in love, deep love with somebody, do you have to put an effort? चलो मुझे मुंह देखने दो. अरे आंख कैसे रहते हैं? Do you have to think? You don't need to have to put an effort. If you find an idle moment, the first thing that comes into your mind is that form of your beloved. That deep, this form should be engraved inside. Till then, abhyaset. Kriyavasane prayatasmareta. Till then you have to keep remembering this form of the Lord. Continuing, having given this beautiful form of the Lord to do the abhyasa. Here, Shukdev Ji Maharaj now says, what is the result of this dharana? Whether you are doing the Virata form or the Ishtadaiva form, what is the result of this dharana? He says, Manasva buddhya malaya niyamnya kshetrajna yetam ninayeta tamatmani. This is the 16th shloka. He says, Manasva buddhya amalaya niyamya. With this, the first result that you get is with the buddhi, the mind is streamlined. Niyamya. kshetrajnayetam ninayeta tamatmani. The individual, the jiva, is merged into that concept, that form of the Lord, wherein what becomes important is that form of the Lord and not the individual. That should be the firmness of devotion, wherein as I am involved, soaked into that form of the Lord, the one who is trying to get soaked in the form of Lord is lost en route. And then he says, this state is not called the sattvic stage. He says, this stage is way beyond the sattvic stage also. Now when it is way beyond sattvic stage, where can there exist tamasic and rajasic qualities? Nayatra sattvam, na rajastamaha, na vai vikaraha, na mahan pradhanam. Param padam vaishnava mamananti tat. This beautiful form, the Jnana yogis, what do they say? Yan neti neti iti sisrukshavaha. They say, all that which is temporary, all that which is impermanent, that which does not have a sense of consistency in it, neti neti. This is not that Paramatma, this is not that supreme form of the Lord. As the Jnana yogis, they do the neti marga. Jnana drishti balat. With this Jnana drishti, when the chitta is soaked with devotion of the Lord, it goes beyond the sattvic nature. Then he says, this is the same result that the Jnana Margis get. This is the same result which, when the yoga sadhana is done by the Hatha yogis, wherein they sit on the seat of meditation, do the Siddhasana, wherein they pull all sources into one focused point, into the Mooladhara. From the Mooladhara they get to the next chakra at the little lesser than or lower than the navel side, the Swadhisthana. Then from the Swadhisthana they get to the Manipuraka. From the Manipuraka they get to the Anahata. Thus one by one, they, with their technique of breathing, they bring themselves to the Sahasrara. When they bring themselves to that Sahasrara, that which happens, which is taken them beyond the Sattva Guna, that is what happens in this meditation of the form of the Lord. So Shukdev ji says, he doesn't stop there. He says, Yadi, this is a very beautiful part that Shukdev ji says. Sometimes when you go through whole Bhagavat, there are tits and bits here and there that are mentioned by Shukdev ji. At this moment when they are reached, whether through the Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga or through the Yoga Sadhana, when they reach to the stage wherein they are beyond the Sattva, at will they can drop the body. At will they can withdraw from that body. And there is a very beautiful technical point said here. Like there are some great devotees, like Tukaram. In one of his Abhanga he says, O Lord, all scriptures and Mahatmas and even my own Guru have always insisted on realizing that Supreme. But Lord, I feel my fulfillment is in service to you alone. Even if it be taking births after births after births to do only your service. I don't need even that mukti. In fact, the way he puts it is, can we have a barter system? You take this mukti, you give me service. That is what I want for lives after lives after lives. There are many such masters who at that end point want to serve that Lord in its Virata form. So what do they do? Here in this 22nd shloka he says that they take along with them. See, by then they have the choice to merge the subtler instruments of the mind, intellect and the ahankara. So they drop the ahankara, take the mind intellect package out. Out where? Now they have left this body. They don't have any karmic vasanas left. They still have the instruments with them, subtler instruments with them. Now listen to this point very carefully. Whether you have a guru directly to guide you or not, it does not matter. If you have that interest, if you have that shraddha, if you have that burning desire, there are many such masters who are in between. They are called the esoteric planes. In between planes, who have this only duty to help a person with the burning desire, guide them towards the Paramatma. One way or the other, they will bring you close to a master so that you are guided further. Sometimes they themselves come in the form, in their own form, to teach that student. You must have read this, taking an example, Autobiography of a Yogi. Have you read that book? If you have not read it, read through it. Lahari Mahashaya, the guru of Swami Yoganandaji, of Yukteswarji. Even Yoganandaji had a direct meeting with Babaji, as he is called, who is eternally young. He is taken into a palace kind of a thing in a mountain. Seems like a pretty Disneylandish or Alice in the Wonderlandish kind of. And there, these masters reveal themselves to the sincere seekers to guide them further. Sometimes it may not be out there in the physical form. Sometimes it is in your own visions. That is why they say when you find these 5 elements, they are not to be considered as dream, but they are to be considered as a vision. Deva, Devalaya. God or a temple. Guru. Mantra. There are many people who are initiated in their dreams. There is a constant mantra that is being told. Tulsidas ji, he was not convinced with the visions of Lord Shiva to write Ramayana. So probably I am weird up there's something happening. So he didn't believe it. Then Lord Shiva had to come and said, now this is my order, go write. That is when he starts writing. He says, how fool I am that when the Lord had given me a subtle indication, I was so thick, dense that I was not able to understand his message then. This is what he puts it. So there is a God, temple, guru, mantra and the scriptures. No, mantra and scriptures are the same. Tirtha kshetras. If these 5 come, then it is not to be considered as a dream, but they are called visions. Now don't go on searching for what would they mean. You have to find somebody to interpret that now, right? There was this person, after listening to this particular part of my lecture, comes to my Swamiji, I am seeing shining snakes in my sleep. What would they mean? Are you afraid of them? I said, yes, take mongoose. Then that person got a little intrigued and said, what would you have said if I say that I was not afraid? I said, take some rats and frogs to feed. Don't go on for searching for the interpretations of that. If it has to mean something, that meaning will also be revealed. But it is that subtler state of the mind wherein by mistake, totally by mistake, the mind has gone beyond sattva. That is when it can happen. Now we know what we are from inside out. We are not even in the borders of the Sattvic Guna. To go beyond sattva is much of a dream. Probably happens in the dream, that is why it is called a vision. So these Mahatmas, they take the Sharira, which is even Sukshma, even subtler than the space, and they travel in all 3 worlds. In fact, they travel in the Sahasra Brahmanda. There are other parallel universes. They travel. Naradji, he travels like that. There are many such great masters who travel like that. There are many such stories that can be said of Mahatmas. So there are people who get mukti right here through the marga of bhakti, through this dharana, or they take up the krama mukti, wherein they go to the higher worlds. How long will they be there in the higher world of the Satya Loka or the Brahma Loka? As long as Brahmaji's tenure to be Brahma, that long you will be in Satya Loka. Then merge into that supreme consciousness. Now what will you do when you are gone there in Satya Loka? Because there is no body, there is no mind intellect. So what do? Because if there is a body, there is old age, there is hunger, there is thirst. You know, Bombay, I have found some of the best punchlines from the beggars. I have told you one punchline. They sell lotteries sometimes. आदमी की कीमत मरने के बाद, लॉटरी की कीमत खुलने के बाद, खरीदी है राजलक्ष्मी बम्पर लॉटरी. So they say, the whole trouble of this universe is papi pet ka sawal. The whole trouble starts from where? From filling the belly. Udara nimittam. That is where it all starts. When the body itself is not there, there is no hunger, there is no thirst, there is no old age, there is nothing to lose. What do? So Brahmaji keeps them engaged. Now imagine what would happen if my satsanga continues for next 1 hour. I know. I will alone be speaking. And you will all be in Samadhi Avastha. Brahmaji keeps them all engaged in 24/7. Now his time period is different. 24/7 satsanga. The three worlds are managed by three heads. How many heads does he have? 4 heads, fortunately or unfortunately. With the 4th head, he engages all these people who are in Satyaloka in constant discussion, constant smarana of that Lord. Nitya Satsanga. Every moment they are reveling nothing but in the contemplation of the Lord. This is called the Krama Mukti, the result of Dharana, wherein as you are hearing to Bhagavat Katha, when you have this Dharana Shakti, the experience of the divine is here and now. Now, after listening to Bhagavat, look at yourself. If there is not even a little change, where is the key? Here. This is how dharana has to be developed. Now don't tell me that you don't have blessings of the Lord. Because if you did not have blessings of the Lord, you would not be sitting here hearing this right now. Hence therefore proved that you have the blessings of the Lord, of that Supreme, of that Shastra itself. Now put that self-effort in developing that Dharana Shakti so that you break away from this bodily identification and move forward. So that Bhagavat Shastra is not a hearing process, not a contemplation process, but becomes an experience, immediate experience process. After having explained this much, then he says, one of the questions of Parikshit ji was art of dying. How should one withdraw from this world? Art of withdrawal. That is given in the 3rd chapter, and we'll see it tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.